Hello everyone. Today I'm going to take up the lesson Precis Writing from Insights 2. Precis, few might be aware, might have done it in their school days. Yet we are going to take up a good revision today in this class. So what all I'm going to discuss will be definition of a Precis writing, importance of Precis, qualities of a good Precis, rules and tips for writing a Precis, and thereafter we'll discuss a exercise, an example for this. Let's begin. Defining a Precis. A Precis is a clear, compact and logical summary of a passage. So it's a clear, compact, logical summary of a passage. A summary which you usually write for other topics also. You gist it out, you make a small abstract. So Precis is nothing but an abstract itself. It's a small summary which you make it for your bigger passage in order to use it at any point of time as a summary, including all the important points of those passages which you have read. It also preserves the essential points or ideas of the original. So when you're writing a Precis, it is very sure that you very important that you ensure that the important points, the important things are not missed out in writing a Precis. If you miss it out, then when you go back to that Precis, you will definitely not able to properly get all the points of the main passage which you have read earlier. So when you have to write a Precis, you have to ensure that all the essential points and the ideas of the original passage is included. The term Precis is derived from French word which means expressed accurately. So this in fact I wanted to tell you. Yes, you would think that what the word Precis would mean. So it is a French word meaning expressed accurately, properly, precisely, logically, to the point. So definitely you cannot at all afford to miss out the important points in a writing of a Precis. So it also means abstract or gist of it. Importance of writing a Precis. Why do you want to write it? How it is useful, how it is helpful? Why do you have to take up the Precis? It is helpful to grasp the ideas of the passage. So when you're reading a very long passage and you have to read it again later on for your exams or for any other purpose, definitely you will find it difficult to redo it every time again. So you are going to make a passage of it, small paragraph, so that it can be reread again, maintaining all the original ideas intact. You do not have to skip any important information. Second, it helps to concentrate on the main ideas. So sometimes there is a lot of explanation which might be given for a subheading or some other internal topics or subplots, and you might not require it. So you can concentrate on the main ideas. It improves writing skills, teaches brevity and logical order. So when you go on writing a Precis, it helps you in increasing and learning the skills of writing and how to be brief. Brevity, how to be short and brief and to the point and being logical always. The fourth, it replicates the information in a brief and complete form. Replicating, I'm writing it here. Why? Because I want you to ensure that there is no again making up stories here, artificial points or beautification going on. No, you have to replicate the original. Replicating, you have to write the original points in a brief form again. Then speed is now the new essence of time, and therefore well-connected narrative or a Precis is needed. So you are in a hurry always. Everybody is in speed today, and therefore nobody has time to go to the original passages and read it carefully again. Therefore Precis becomes all the more important and needful because it is a well-connected, a brief narrative of the original passage. Qualities of a Precis writing. Okay, While writing a précis, what all things should be there on a good précis? First, clarity. When you read it, it should be very, very clear about the ideas. Correctness. You cannot use any information you like. You have to be very, very correct as it is in the original passage. Objectivity. You have to be very objective in the sense you cannot include any of your personal likings and dislikings. You cannot be subjective. You have to be maintaining the objectivity of the passage. That is also called, you have to be writing it detached way, because if you like it or not like it, you cannot involve it in writing a précis. You have to write it in a very objective way. Coherence, maintaining some kind of unity. Conciseness, that is brief. Okay, these are the points here I have discussed in detail. First is clarity. Clarity, it means getting your message so that the reader can understand easily what the writer wants to convey. Correctness, sentence ought to be proper, grammatical, punctuation and well spelled or free from any sort of error. So if you are not being grammatically correct, it will turn out to be a blunder. So correct idea should be conveyed properly. So correctness involves two things. One, you have to have the correct idea, and second, correct grammatical structures. Third, objectivity. Objectivity means the ability to present the opinions and personal preferences. So I told you, you cannot involve any kind of your personal opinions and preferences in writing a précis. The writer should adopt an objective approach and not add any personal points and opinions. Coherence. Coherence means logical interconnection. Unity. So ideas should be well joined. Two sentences which you have made should be well connected to each other, no matter if you have skipped all the in-between irrelevant information. You have to have the ideas connected properly. Sentences should always be interrelated. That coherence is required. Unity in sentences. Fifth is conciseness, which means brief and direct. Conciseness is a desirable quality of a good précis. Use concise expression, avoid unnecessary repetitions, which is very important. You should not repeat your sentences and high points, and convey the information clear and efficiently. So if you do that much, your good précis would be ready. Tips for writing a précis. So what are the tips for writing a précis now? Things to be kept in mind. So those 6 were the features of writing a good précis, and here are the tips. Careful reading. Read the passage again and again until you understand the meaning of the passage. So if you're not able to follow the passage in one go, you have to read it again so that you get the right meaning. Second, outline. Usually one is asked to supply outline for a précis. Find the key sentences. Key sentences as in the main. What is the main point of the passage? That is the key sentence. So you have to find that outline point. Understanding, read the passage attentively and try to understand the main theme of the passage. Underline is the fourth point. Underlining is the marking of important and essential points from the original text. So this helps a lot. If you keep underlining the important points in the original text when you're reading it, then you can easily frame a nice précis without skipping out the important points. Then omission. Omit all the unnecessary information which could be replaced by one word. So if a huge sentence is given and you can replace it with one single good word, you should do it. Unnecessary words should be avoided because that will be important for your word limit. Don't omit. While writing a précis, the writer should not omit the essential and important points. Very important. Length should be kept in mind. You have only 200 words for a précis. Actually, the précis is always 1/3 of the original. Very important. The length of the précis should always be 1/3 of the original passage. So somewhere between 30 to 35% of the original passage lines. Indirect speech is used, that is the reported speech. Own words. A precis should be written in your own words and should abstain from borrowing words from original passage. Avoid giving opinions, that is being objective. I told you no need to be subjective, including your personal points of view. So you are not supposed to give any comments or opinions as such appreciative, critical, or the ideas expressed in the passage. Paragraph form. Precis should always be in a paragraph form. Tenses and person. A precis should be written in past tense, but in the case of universal truth, present tense should be used. Sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So present tense is used for the universal truths. No change in meaning. Do not change the meaning of the original passage. You have to maintain it. No matter whatever words, you can use your own words, but the meaning should not be changed. Lines can be changed. You can use your own words and lines, but you cannot change the meaning of the original. Art of compression. You need to have that art of compressing the words. If you have that art of compression, what will happen? Your length will automatically fit in properly. So compress and clarify a lengthy passage, article or book, but retaining important concepts, keywords and important data. Then rereading. Reread the passage several times if necessary for a clear understanding of ideas. And conclusion. The conclusion should restate the main idea of the text and reiterate the main support, and do not provide any new information. If you give new information, then it is a subjective writing of a precis, which is a wrong thing. You cannot be subjective. So conclusion should always be restating the main idea. What was the main idea we began with? That was here outline. Usually the key sentence. So usually the person closes the precis with again that key sentence or an outline which you have already identified. Look at an example here. Tracts of land from which coal is obtained are called coal fields. These so-called fields are not on the surface of the earth, but at some depths below it. They consist of layers of bed which run under the ground. So after reading these lines, I feel that they're talking about some coal fields, and they're talking about what is there beneath it. So if I have to condense this passage and write it in a precis, it would be 1/3. That means if 3 lines are given, I need to write only 1 line. So my precis answer is, when a layer of this kind has been opened, the opening is called a mine, opened, and hence is called as a mineral. Precis of the example passage here. These are the 2 passages and here are the answers. So what are the precis answers here? I have given it the title, What are coal fields? And the precis says, the coal fields are underground tracts of land from which coal is obtained. They have underground layers of bed and they are called mine, which they are opened. When they are opened, they are called mine. So for 5 lines given there, I have made it to 3 here. And I have given it a title also. So just ensure every precis you write should be 1/3 of the original and should always carry a title. What are coal fields? So a title is mandatory for any precis, and if you skip writing the title of the precis, giving it to your own title, then definitely you are losing marks. From the examiner's point of view, you will be losing your marks. I hope the session was useful. Thank you so much.